welcome back to another bite-sized tip. This one is about the filter plugin for Figma. You can find the filter plugin on the community by just searching for the word filter. It's created by Lynchy. I hope that I got the name right. If not, Lynchy can let me know. Let's go at the sandbox. So I have this grid of cards here, and I decided that I don't like the button, right? So let's do command forward slash start the filter plugin. It's already there, but you could have typed the name filter. And now I want to select the button, right? Like you can see that the filter plugin allows for other things like selecting all the types, like select all the text, select all the instances. I find it a little bit less useful than selecting names of layers if you actually named layers. So here's a good reason to name layers, huh? And you can also select all the fonts of a certain size. That's also rather interesting as a use case. But for now, let's say that I'm looking at this card grid. I don't like the button, and so the work harder, not smarter way would be to individually select each button or do the change in each button one at once, right? But no, that's not how we do things here. Let's pick the button layers, and you can see the filter will basically select everything that's named button within that selection that you made at the first glance, right? And now let's say like I want a green button maybe. Eh, I feel like this looks good with that placeholder. This is like totally not how you should do visual design because it's a placeholder, but we're just being funny here. And you can see that now I did all the changes at once, right? Now we have a good component with component props, but if we didn't, right, and we wanted to have an icon right, we could also use the filter plugin, right? So now we have all the buttons selected. Let's click this little thing here on the filter pop-up, which will now change the selection to all the buttons. And you can see that now I see everything that's inside the buttons. I want to select the icon right, and you can see it's not visible, right? And in theory, you can't do it from here. But what you can do is you can do Command Shift H, and that will show that layer. It's hide and show. Command Shift H hides and shows things. And let's say that now I want an icon that points down just for some reason, some weird reason. And you get the drift, right? Like you can continue doing this type of batch actions on filter. Let me close it. And this is like a very simple use case, but you can imagine that you could go way more complex than this. You could, for instance, have an entire web page or an entire UI and change basically everything that's called button or change every single thing that's called something else without having to do this action like 20 times. It's a lifesaver. I'll talk next about another plugin that does a slightly similar thing, even though it's a bit more complex, or at least requires a little bit more usage of your memory. So stay tuned, come back for that. I hope you liked it. See you next time.